Now, each and every week, many of you already know that we get to see the life insurance registrations from our favorite EV stocks. Well, though these might not be the exact sales, but they give us the kind of guidance of the sales that we expect to get from our favorite EV stocks like Nio. Now, as seen on the screen, Nio, for the period which started last week, Monday until Saturday, they reported or they had 5,000 NAV insurance registration. This is the exact same registration we saw, of course, 2 weeks ago or last week on Tuesday, which is something that is quite good or incredible because this is something that we've seen in the NAV insurance registration, and that is, of course, towards the end of the month or the last 2 weeks, we tend to see, of course, big numbers coming from the NAV insurance registration, which is the exact same thing we are seeing on Nio. But one of the things that you will notice on this week's report is that BYD, XPeng, and Liodo, they of course saw their NAV insurance registration dropping from the previous week. I think XPeng, it was over 6% drop, and then we've got BYD, which was 1.7% drop, and I think Liodo, it is also over 3% drop from the NAV insurance registrations they reported the previous week. Nio, it is one of those, or it is an EV that saw the same deliveries or the same NAV insurance registrations they reported the previous week, which is something that is quite good to see, right? Now, you will know that these NAV insurance registrations include or part of them include the deliveries we saw from the month of August. And those that might still not know, Nio delivered over 19,300 for the month of August, which of course the days that were affected in or the last week days which were affected into those deliveries were Monday until Thursday. Friday and Saturday are the deliveries that are to be affected on the September month, meaning that we still don't know yet how many of these NAV insurance registration or 5,000 NAV insurance registration that Nio got last week are form part of the August deliveries. But nonetheless, this is good news because, ladies and gents, we are continuing to see Nio growing in terms of the NAV insurance registration. And as I said, though this might not be actual sales, but they give us a hint on the kind of course, deliveries we are to expect out of our favorite EV stocks like Nio. I mean, they come pretty close because I think before the deliveries, or when we look at the NAV insurance registration report that came last week Tuesday, Nio had 16,000 NAV insurance registrations, meaning that looking at the fact that Nio reported over 19,300 for their August deliveries, it means that those 4 days Nio managed to sell just over 3,000, or just managed to report over 3,000, of course, 300 NAV insurance registrations, which then equates to the actual deliveries of 19,000, over 19,300, which sort of like makes sense, right? Because it was not the full week. This then now means that, of course, the last 2 days of last week, Nio then saw around or almost 2,000 deliveries for Friday and Saturday, which is something that is quite good, right? Well, I know there are some that might still want more, but this to me, it's good news to Nio, especially looking at the fact that, of course, some of their EV competitors or some of the new energy vehicles company reported lower or saw a bit of a drop on this week's NAV insurance registrations when comparing to, of course, those that were received the last time. Now, before we dig deep into this video, you already know that this video is just an entertainment video and not a professional financial advice video. And I would appreciate if you just hit the like button if you are enjoying the content that I'm giving you about Nio getting the 5,000 NAV insurance registration once again, which is something that is, of course, good news to the new investors, especially as, like I said, looking at the fact that other AV companies, of course, saw a drop when comparing to the previous week. So to get to see this, of course, from Nio, it was a good thing. So if you are a Nio guy or a Nio retail investor, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell, because on this channel, Nio is one of the stocks that I discuss almost on a day-to-day. I believe that their fundamentals continue growing, or as their fundamentals continue growing, we'll finally see the share price of Nio also recovering, which is something that makes me to look forward to the future, because I know Nio continues to improve and their fundamentals continue growing. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. So without wasting any more of your time, I'm very excited about this 5,000 NAV insurance registration, and I so much wish that of course Nio can continue with this momentum, regardless of the guidance that Nio gave us last week during the Q2 earnings of between 15,200 to 17,200 vehicles, which they expect to deliver, of course, for the month of September. I think that Nio under predict so that at least they can, of course, have good news to report come month end of September. I think it is a good strategy, or it is a strategy for Nio for this time around to maybe under predict than to over predict and make people to be overexcited. So I think that Nio's plan is to deliver over 20,000 for the month of September. As you will know that they indicated that towards or at the end of September they should be ready to deliver 30,000 vehicles in Q4, meaning that from October until December, Nio is looking at selling an average of around 30,000 vehicles on a month to month, which is something that is incredible and is making me not to wait to see the kind of deliveries that Nio is supposed to or will report for the month of October. I'm very excited, and this is, or it is for this reason that I believe that September might be a new record, or Nio might produce a new record, looking at the fact that their production now, of course, their production capacity would have increased or is supposed to be completed for that 30,000 before end of this month. And it sort of like makes sense that they might deliver more cars, because you will know that on the 15th, which is next week, Nio will be officially unveiling the new EC6, which Nio during the Q2 earnings, the CEO said that even that model they expect to sell good numbers. So they said EC6, ET5 Touring, and the ES6, they're expecting to see sales of between, or monthly sales of between 15 to 20,000, which is something that is quite good, right? Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I'd just give you this quick update. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, I'm very excited about this 5,000 NAV insurance registrations, which you just saw from Nio, or which you just saw under Nio today. And like I said, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Now, it is always good that before you buy Nio for the very first time or increase your holdings, you do your own due diligence so that at least you can be comfortable as you are investing onto this stock. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.